The attacks in France have cast a long shadow over Parliament's first plenary session of 2015, prompting strong political responses and calls for new ways to deal with radicalisation. The exchange of information between security agencies is a big part of it. Two MEPs have a particular expertise in this, German Green Jan-Philipp Albrecht and British Conservative Timothy Kirkhope. First, are they Charlie, and what does the name mean to them?
When the President of the Parliament asked those members present to go outside and stand silently for a minute, I certainly had my sign. Not only was this an appalling terrorist atrocity, but also it was a terrorist atrocity addressed directly at free speech.
We are all Charlie and also Ahmed, and we are also Jewish, so we can see we have to be together. It's about kind of European identity where we want to be open, we want to be tolerant to different religions, to different origins, more or less, and we want to be safeguarding our values.
After the attacks, who is now at risk?
Everybody is in direct risk in one way or another. And that is why I think there have been so many people reacting to what has happened. All of us are at risk if we don't actually protect our freedom.
There is a risk that such attacks will not be the only ones. We have to be very careful analyzing the risks, and we have to focus on them. We have to follow the people which are radicalizing themselves or others.
You have to be careful not to knee-jerk too much and say, look, because something terrible has happened like this, we now have to do a whole list of new things. The answer is, of course, that we should support our security services, we should support the rule of law, we should deal with criminals and terrorists as appropriately as we possibly can, firmly, determinedly.
I'm convinced that we would have had a better situation and also a better chance to prevent these attacks if there would be better cooperation already in place until now, which is not the case. We don't exchange the information which we have. I would like that we focus on strengthening the police and justice, on security officials which are locally and regionally analyzing the situation and bringing them together.
What's to happen to the proposed system of transferring air passenger information, known as passenger name records, on all flights crossing Europe?
The fact that a circumstance has occurred which now highlights its possible usefulness is important to the extent that I hope that we might now concentrate on getting it through this Parliament. I would prefer to look at it as a tool which is available, or should be available, to deal with criminals, not just terrorists, people who are trafficking in children, paedophiles, people who are using the drug trade, for instance, people who are committing serious crimes of all kinds.
I cannot really understand why ministers and some politicians in the parliament are now calling for a system which is retaining passenger name records of completely innocent and not suspicious people, while we have quite a lot of information on suspicious people, on risky regions and also risky groups of persons, and we are not focusing on them because today's laws already allow us to track them if there is a reason, a suspicion or a risk. And I think that's the thing which what we should do, instead of putting a general suspicion towards everybody, which is just endangering the values which we just want to prevent and protect.
How can the radicalization of young people, European citizens, be countered?
An awful lot of this is coming out of our own societies. In which case one has to look back and say, when does this start to occur and what are the circumstances? I don't believe that one political action or initiative taken in some part of the world which is offensive to a young person is what causes this. I think this is from the point of view of very young people. I think there is an issue regarding education. I think there is an issue regarding tolerance. I think there are issues here which need to be tackled by the nation states themselves. We have to look at the issue of race relations, community relations, and see whether we're handling that right in our countries and in our cities. I think there's a lot to be done.
Not only laws will prevent people to be radicalized, we need to focus also on the challenges in the social environment. The economic situation of many, especially young people, is so bad in Europe at the moment, especially in some member states where there is a high youth unemployment. We need to really do much more to invest in their future, because otherwise those people without any future will perhaps radicalize themselves and will fight against the system, which we don't want them to do.